Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is slowing down, kind of to stretch time, but slowing down in the face of feeling harried and scrambling, to slow down, and that's when we get to be the most effective. Well, it'll be an interesting conversation. But before we get started, let's take a minute or two to get present. So let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells and your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your molecules, your electrons, your cells, lighting you up with this brilliant beam of light from your heart out into the world. And as you exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's just place our palms together and vigorously rub your hands together. Feel that friction, the temperature, the texture. And then when you stop rubbing your hands together, feel that buzzing, all that energy, that life energy just tingling and tickling, and allow that to bring you present right here, right now, into this remarkable physical form that enables you to experience life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Rosalind. So great to have you here with us this morning, and welcome to everybody else who's joining us. It's great to be here with you this morning. So slowing down, why did that come up? Because I had like 2 minutes to put everything together for this morning's talk. And what I noticed was that when I allowed myself to feel into time. Good morning, Gia. Welcome. So good to have you here with us this morning. We're talking about slowing down. Well, so rather than getting all frantic and hurried, because when we get frantic and scurry and scrabbling, what happens is that we lose our center, we lose our clarity. And so instead, in those moments, if we can have the presence to consolidate, to bring ourselves in, to bring ourselves to center, to slow down, what happens is we expand time. That's what I should have called it. Instead of slowing down, I should have called this morning's thing expanding time, because we really do have the ability to do that. It's quite remarkable. So I had like 5 minutes, maybe less, and I was able to get everything set up because I slowed down and expanded time. I'm wondering if you've ever had experiences where you've been able to expand time. You know, maybe you were needing to be at a meeting at a certain time and you're running late and you really needed to be there. I've had a couple occasions where there was no way I could get from here to there in the time that I did. You know, where there was no way that I would be able to be on time, and I ended up being on time. And then there are other times when, you know, we feel like we're pushing against the clock, we're struggling and fighting and rushing and all the tension and all the stress, and it's creating more resistance. Whereas really we do have the capacity to be more fluid with time. And to weave time. What a concept, right? What fun that can be. Where we get to transcend the apparent circumstance of life. You step into an altered dimension So I'm wondering if you've had experiences like that where it seemed like you were able to stretch time or time stretched around you. Good morning, Bernadette. So good to have you here with us this morning. We're talking about bending time, stretching time, expanding it, and really slowing down to enable that to happen, like to come into that place of centeredness and connection, that maybe that place within us that's timeless. And when we connect with that, or as we connect with it more deeply, then time becomes fluid. I love this actually, to talk about the concept of time, because I don't I it, when we talk about time, I don't think we can avoid the topic of relativity. So Bernadette says, "Oh, great topic when the world only accepts a 24-hour span." Exactly, exactly. So I don't know about you, but I remember as a kid, especially, that there were days that took years to go by, just forever for a day to go by. And I know that in these conversations with you, they disappear. The half hour that we spend together, give or take, just evaporates. I don't know where the time goes. It just sort of seems to disappear. We've been talking a little bit about flow lately. So, when we're in flow, time kind of disappears. And I've had years that have gone by in what seems like a minute, but days that take years. And I don't know if you have the same experience, but it's very, very different, right? That our relationship to time in different contexts. And we were talking about how when you're in flow, time kind of disappears. All of a sudden you can just sort of come out of that state of flow and recognize, oh my gosh, 2, 3, 4 hours have gone by. And I had no idea that time disappeared. And then there are other times when 10 minutes can take forever. So an example of 5 minutes taking forever was I did a Wim Hof workshop, and you get into this literal bath of ice cubes, no joke. It's just literally icy water up to your neck. And I can tell you that 5 minutes in that was forever. So Bernadette says, I wish I could look in the mirror and see that 30-year-old I'm expecting to see. Years have flown. I'm with you there, Bernadette. Oh my gosh, big time. So interesting how we identify with different ages. So for years and years, I was 15, for years. And then after 15, I think I don't remember even if I was 27 or 30, but for years. And I just had this conversation with somebody the other day, because I just had a birthday on Monday. And I don't even, and I said, and I don't have any idea how old I am now. For years I was 15, then I was 30, and now I have no idea. I'm ageless at this point. So Bernadette says, I often wonder where it all went because it's only been a minute. Thank you, Tabby. Welcome. So good to have you here with us. Thank you. I agree with you, Bernadette. Tabby says, happy belated birthday. Bernadette, I agree with you. It's only been a minute. Like I can blink and 20 years ago was yesterday in a heartbeat. And I know that a lot of people are wistful about the bygone days, and it was so much better than and all of that. And I'm not one of those people, man. You could not pay me to go back for a minute. I would not go back and for any of it. I'm just glad to be evolving and growing and all of that. And frankly, I feel like I'm just getting started. I feel like this is one of those, this is a time in my life where I feel things are just starting to open up. So Bernadette says, I'm not one of those people either. Nope. The good old days, no way. Not going back. Couldn't pay me. Thank you. Yeah. The good old days are the days that I'm creating now, and that I intend to be continuing to create in the future. So I'm looking forward, literally looking forward, and looking here, being here, be here now. So Bernadette says, now if I had the knowledge I have now back then, that would be okay. So that was our conversation too, is if I knew then what I know now, then it would be a whole lot more fun to be there. But I don't know, I was so much of an outsider for most of my life that knowing what I know now would have made me, if it were then, would have made me even more of an outsider, I think. So I don't know. I don't know. I just figure that was then, this is now, let's do this. And Rosalind says, meditative slow walking to help notice slowing down. Sure. I love that. Meditative slow walking. How about breath? Just like slowing your breath. That makes a profound difference in being able to bring yourself back into your body. And so this is almost a non sequitur, but I had a really, really, really interesting session with someone yesterday that I want to talk about it, because it's a juxtaposition of reality, and we're kind of talking about that with time, so it's loosely related. I don't know, you guys are making all these comments, so I don't know if I'm going to get to say it. Let's see. Bernadette says, thinking the exercise of keeping young would assist. Well, so here in terms of nuance, Bernadette, rather than keeping young, how about being young, like being the child, bubbling that vitality up and that enthusiasm and that wonder and curiosity and all the things that characterize youth. Well, didn't characterize my youth necessarily, but youth in its positive aspects, because I was rather a brooding youth myself. But yeah, like the innocence or the openness and the curiosity and wonder. I think that those things all cultivate vitality, and that's where we that's the fountain of youth, right? So let's see. Gia says, I don't go back or in the future, as I can't afford those expensive trips. There's a lot of chaos and drama, so I just be in the present. It's priceless, actually, with laughing emojis. So I don't go back or in the future, as I can't afford those I don't know if you said expensive, but I'm thinking you meant expensive, which is funny. There's a lot of chaos and drama, so I just be in the present. Well, you know what? the present is all there is, Gia. So, like if we go into the past and we go into the future, all of that is made up because all we are ever is right here, right now, right? So the past and the future are fabrications. And the only thing that ever really truly exists is this moment. So you nailed it, Gia. Gia says, I'd love to hear about your session experience. Okay, so let me see if we have a moment to do that. And good morning, Lisa. So good to have you here with us this morning. So welcome. And Bernadette says, oh, I'm the biggest kid you'll ever know at my young age of a beautiful 62. My family always asked me to grow up, LMAO. Well, don't ever grow up, Bernadette. What is it, Peter Pan? From the movie Peter Pan, isn't there a song? I'll never grow up. I'll never grow up. I'll never. I don't remember about. Maybe I'll never go to school. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to grow up either. Although to be able to have the childlike wonder and find joy and have the wisdom of the years, that's kind of maybe the ultimate gift, right? To find a way to blend the wisdom and the wonder. That could be a good title for a book, Blending the Wisdom and the Wonder, or The Wisdom and the Wonder. Maybe I'll write that book. Anyway, yeah, finding that there's an alchemy that I can imagine there. Anyway, so let me tell you about this session. It was wild. It was wild, and I don't know how I can talk about it without the specifics. Let me just see if I can feel into this. So it was a client who had lots and lots of huge archetypal karmic stuff with their mother, and also had a very deep awareness of their God self, like of their creator self on an epic level, like, gods and goddesses kind of level, and had been spending years and years to free themselves from this enmeshment with their mother, and believing that there were all these spells and cords that were connected, and that the mother was kind of the driving force of all these cords and connections. So I'm just going to finish the story, and then I'll come back to the comments. So anyway, as I felt into it, and this person has worked with shamans and all kinds of people to be removing entities and clearing these cords and all kinds of rituals, and I felt into it. And what I felt was that there was this incredible enmeshment, and that it wasn't one way. And in fact, as I felt into it more and more deeply, what came up was that it wasn't the mother that was the driving force for this. It was the client. That in fact, it was she who had created all of it. And this massive illusion. And so I think, she resonated with this. She was like, oh my gosh, I think you're right. I think that that's it. like all this time, she thought it was the other person, but that in her creatorship, she had maneuvered all this stuff to make it look like the other person was the one with the power and that she was powerless in the face of this other person. And she realized that it was this grand play. And when we think about our God self, when we think about that we came here as creators, and if we entertain the possibility that we chose this life, that we engineered it at some level, and then we play along with it like it's an elaborate play, and we're in the role, and we're believing all the drama and living it to be able to have all this experience. And then the play is over, or we recognize that we're the ones that wrote the play. And it was so profound. It was really, truly life-altering, because what happened was it deeply transformed her whole life story to be one where I said to her, I'm just getting this really deep sense that you've been the puppet master, that you're the puppet master. And it hit home for her. And in our own way, I truly do believe that we are the puppet master. We create this elaborate story for us to live into. And then we forget that we created it so that we can really experience it, really immerse ourselves in the drama of it. And so I guess this relates to the idea of slowing down or stretching time or bending time, in that it's bending the illusion, like if maybe time is an illusion, and as we bend one illusion, the other illusions sort of start to waver and ripple and maybe fray around the edges. So that's the story of my session yesterday. It was really transformative. Doesn't even begin to capture the power of this session with this person, because it was completely recontextualizing her whole life. So anyway, I thought you might find it interesting. And when we're talking about the illusion of time, it's like maybe all of it is an illusion that we've created to experience what it is to experience all of it, the joys, the sorrows, the shocks, the rage, the love, the passion, all of it. So Lisa says, I dance and sing songs about my birds. I used to do that with Maggie, Lisa. Oh my gosh, like I'm 5, Lisa says. I'm so loud. And I love dancing around. And when I'm in the ocean and a wave comes, I say, woo, LOL. I love it, Lisa. That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I can just see you. And, I started looking at bird rescues yesterday to see about a bird, but then I'm thinking, my thought is that I may be in the not terribly distant future, in the next year or so or more, who knows, I may be moving to Mexico, and I don't want to get a bird and then have to face putting it in quarantine or whatever. So I'm going to hold off on that, I think, for now. But anyway, I love the idea, and I see the vision of you dancing and singing with your birds, Lisa. Beautiful, beautiful. Bernadette says, I think the powerless part kicks in when we do not see the other person for who they are and expect them to be who we want them to be. I think that's true, Bernadette. This was a session that I did with somebody else, which was really interesting. We were talking about how recognizing somebody as a scorpion, like one of the things that we do as well-meaning people is we want to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? And so in the process of giving people the benefit of the doubt, we deny what we know. And so much of what we get to do is to realize, to give ourselves the right to know what we know. If you know that this is a scorpion, okay? This is a scorpion. Scorpions sting. You don't go and pretend that a scorpion's a puppy. You're not going to treat a scorpion the same way that you treat a puppy. Recognizing a scorpion as a scorpion is not being a bad person. It's being a realist. It's so to deny what we see is not being a good person. It's just being stupid. We get to pay attention. We get to pay attention and be aware. We don't have to be afraid of the scorpion. When you know a scorpion is a scorpion, then you can take proper cautions in interacting with it. My dad had a pet scorpion, by the way. What was her name? I want to say Millie, but I don't know if that's true. Anyway, he had a pet tarantula too. And so you don't go cuddle a tarantula like you would cuddle a puppy. It's a tarantula, deal with it appropriately, right? So Bernadette says, eye-opening session. It really, really, really was. It was profound. And it's a perfect story for all of us, right? To see we make this stuff up and then we live into that. And Gia says, I loved your session experience as always. Thank you, Gia. Lisa says, you're not leaving us though, right? No, Lisa, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to visit Mexico though in September, and I'm going to go for 2 weeks. So I'm not expecting that I'll be with you guys for that 2 weeks in September, but that's a little ways away. And I haven't made my definite plans yet, but I'm not going anywhere, not to worry. And wherever I go, there'll be internet, just not while I'm traveling. So, Lisa says, like the poem, The Snake. I don't know that poem. If you could put a link, that would be amazing, Lisa. And Gia says, how much we give them power and ignoring ours and then blame them. The vicious cycle goes on till our higher understanding kicks in. 1000%, Gia, exactly. We give away our power so that we get to be powerless. Think on that for a second. We give away our power so that we get to experience what it is to be powerless. We have the power to give them power, right? Or we empower them so that we can get to experience being powerless. And then we get to wake up. How amazing. And Bernadette says body armor for the scorpion. Yeah. Well, the scorpion has its own body armor, but yeah. Interesting, right? I mean, you can tune into the scorpion. You can know when it's going to strike, just like you can know when a tarantula is going to strike, right? Rosalind says, not having enough time seems to be associated with limitedness and perhaps shutting down our desires. We can take time, revel in our desires to open up energy. I think that we can really deeply connect, because we are timeless. Truly, we are timeless. As we deeply connect into our core, it transcends time. It'd be nice if we could convince our bodies of that. Some of us are better at that than others, but yes. And Lisa, thank you so much for the link to the poem, The Snake. Awesome. I'm excited. I just clicked the link, so I'll be able to check it out. So Bernadette says exactly. And that brings us to the end of this morning. So look for the ways that we have created, or you have created, illusions to live into, and maybe you get to adjust the illusion so that it's more fun for you. And Gia says, I love the part Scorpion is Scorpion. Deal with it appropriately. Simple as that is. Wow, thank you. Exactly. Things are what they are, right? We want to say, oh no, it's a very sweet scorpion. This is a very sweet scorpion. Well, it still is a scorpion, folks. Deal with it appropriately. Good morning, Dido. So glad you were here with us this morning. Bernadette says, have a great day, everyone. I say, have a great day, everyone, and a great weekend. And I will look forward to seeing you next week. I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection. And I go live here each weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page. And I invite you to check out the other awesome programming on Enlightened World Network, EWN One with the Earth, Enlightened World Living. And with so much love, until next time, I so deeply appreciate